Hello everyone, welcome to this video where I talk about the Archimedes principle and the law of friction. So we'll start with the Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle, first you have to know how it is stated. So this principle says that uh, when a body is totally or partially immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upthrust force which is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced. So this is the principle that shows the relationship between the body that is total or partially immersed in a fluid in how it experiences certain kind of a force that is upward upthrust force, which is the upward force, which results to the increase in a displaced fluid. Now that displaced fluid is equal to the upthrust force that is given there is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by that body. So an upthrust is referred as an upward force exerted by the body when it is partially or totally immersed in water. So when a body is totally or partially immersed in water, it experiences this an upward force, also known as a buoyancy force, that is exerted to this body. So a weight recorded on the spring balance of a body that is total or partially immersed in a liquid is called the apparent weight. So apparent weight is the weight recorded when a body is total or partially immersed in a fluid. Now the difference between the weight of the body in air, weight of the body in air, it means that the weight of the body when a body is not in when the body is not immersed in the liquid, and the weight of the body in the liquid, that is apparent weight, is known as the apparent loss in weight. So apparent loss in weight is equal to weight of the body in liquid minus apparent loss in weight. So the apparent loss in weight is equal to the weight of the liquid which is displaced after immersing the body. Now therefore the upthrust, that the upward force will be equal to the amount of the apparent loss in weight, and also upthrust will be equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the body. Moving on, let's see the Archimedes principle in determining relative density. We've already seen that relative density of a substance can be defined as the ratio of the mass of the substance to the mass of an equal volume of water. Also, we also defined as the ratio of the weight of the substance to the weight of equal volume of water. So according to Archimedes principle, mass of equal volume of water is the mass of water displaced when the substance is immersed in water. So we can note that the volume of water displaced after immersing a substance in water is equal to the volume of the substance. So after noting this, we simply can say that the relative density will be equal to the mass of the substance upon mass of water displaced by the substance, or the relative density equals to weight of the substance upon the weight of water displaced by the substance. So it's clear. So that's how the relationship between the Archimedes principle in determining the relative density. Moving on, let's see the law of flotation. The law of flotation simply states that a floating body displaces its own weight of the fluid displaced by the body. So a floating body that is floating on the fluid will display its own weight of the fluid that is displayed by this body. Simply we say that an object with a higher density than water will sink, while the object is with the density lower than water's density will float. So for example, maybe a coin sinks in water and a large ship floats in water. So now the tendency of the body to remain on the surface of the liquid is called as floating, whereas the tendency of an object to drop to the bottom of the liquid is known as sinking. So the law of flotation, it is relating to the field of floating, where the body when it floats, it displaces certain kind of fluid. Now the body which displaces this kind of fluid, its weight of that fluid displaced, it is shown by the displayed body. Moving on, let's see that the conditions for the substance to float in fluids. Now, when an object is completely or partially immersed in fluid, there are two forces acting on it. The first one is that the weight acting downwards and the upthrust that is acting upward. Now, the following are the conditions that I use to determine the position of the object in fluid. The first one is that W, that is the weight acting downward, when it's greater than the U, that is an upthrust, there is a downward movement of the body, which is termed as sinking. Whereas when the weight acting downward, when is lower than the upthrust, then there is determining that there is an upward movement of the body. So the body is pushed upward, while if the W is equal to U, whereas the weight acting towards downward is equal to the upthrust, then the body is equilibrium under the action of two equal and opposite force. Thus the body floats. So the body to float, W should be equal to U, whereas W is the weight acting downward and U is the upthrust force or the buoyancy force. So the buoyancy force or the upthrust depends on the volume of the object and the density of the surrounding fluid. So those are the conditions that determines the buoyancy force. Moving on, so we can generally say that the following are the conditions for the body to float in a fluid. The first one is that the volume of the body must be large as well as displays a large amount of fluid. And the second one is that the density of the body must be smaller than the density of the surrounding fluid in order to float. Then the last one is that the upthrust or the buoyant force due to the surrounding fluid must be equal to the total weight of the body. So these are the main conditions for the substance to float in a fluid. Now let's see the relationship between the upthrust and the weight of the floating body. We say that the upthrust and the flotation are well related to the density of the body and the density of the surrounding fluid. Whereas the body will float if the density of the body is less than that density of the fluid, and the density of the body is increased by increasing the volume of an object. So, however, when the body floats, its density, its weight decreases to zero. That's why it is in weightless. That's why it is very easy to lift or move the object when it is floating in the fluid. That's a common fact. So that's all for this video. Hope it's clear, guys. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned to other more of the videos.